This is an additional video on how to prepare for Component 1's exam using ChatGPT. The first thing you'll want to do if you've never used ChatGPT, is just open up any sort of browser and then go ahead and just type in ChatGPT. You can just Google it. Then you just go here where it says try ChatGPT. You do not have to log in. You do not have to sign up. I did because I just think it's helpful because you can go back into your history sometimes and look to see what you've done. But if not, just stay logged out. Next, you want to go ahead and pull up your instructions for Component 1. If you don't know how to do that or you don't remember, you're just going to Google first time and returning candidates. And most often, it's the first thing that pops up. So you click on that, and then you're going to scroll down until you get here. You're going to choose what discipline area you are. So today, I'm actually going to choose generalist, and I'm also going to choose middle childhood. That's what I see the most of. And I'm going to click on Component 1. These are the instructions. Remember that each test is composed of a computer-based assessment, which usually has 45 selected response items and 3 constructed response exercises, which I haven't seen that really differ from any component. I could be wrong, but for most of them that I've looked through, it's 45 multiple choice questions and 3 constructed response exercises. We are going to focus on the constructed response exercises. So I am in the middle childhood generalist directions, and I'm just going to review the exercises first just to kind of remember what the constructed response exercises are before I start using ChatGPT to help me. So I will use ChatGPT to come up with ideas. Now remember, these are just ideas. We only use AI to help us brainstorm and help us with ideas, but never to actually write anything for us. Plus you'll be in a testing center where we won't be able to use anything, but this is just to help us with ideas. So I copied and pasted the preparation and the scenario. I did have to describe to ChatGPT what this looked like. So I said certain things like student mispronounces words, student has this many short pauses, this student has this many long pauses, this student, whatever, has to substitutes this word for that. But you're just going to have to describe this section to AI. Then I scrolled down and I copied this, which is the actual things you have to address in your response. And once I've done that, I go into ChatGPT, and what you'll see is everything I just said. I copied the prompt. I described the scenario and said how many mistakes there were, if there were short pauses, if there were long pauses. And then I went ahead and I said, okay, I need to copy and paste the other information of what they're asking me to do with identifying the strengths. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to copy this, identifying the strength, the weaknesses, and then I'm going to paste that in. And now you can see identify the strength, the weakness, 2 specific and strategies, and then I'm just going to press go and see what it comes up with. Now, obviously this is not perfect, so we just like to look at this. So it already tells me one of the strengths the student has is obviously the self-correction. Some of the perhaps weaknesses or areas in need of improvement, talks about mispronouncing words, particularly with vowels, frequent pauses. And then it also starts to give me strategies. This is what they could focus on for possible vowel pattern instruction. This is what they could practice with repeated reading. And it gives a little bit of a conclusion. I'm going to stop here. Now I went back into the instructions again, but this time I copied the rubric. And remember, we're looking for the level 4. So I go back to ChatGPT and I said, will you please rewrite this using this rubric? And then I pressed go. And once again, remember, I said rewrite this. Here's the rubric I copied and pasted in. And it's now rewritten it based upon that particular rubric. Now I can take this a step further. The next step is please look at this response using the National Board for Certified Teaching Standards for Middle Childhood Generalist and incorporate some of those ideas into this response. So now not only am I looking at the response that they've given me, I looked at how they could possibly change that response based upon the rubric, which is a 4. And now I'm taking it a step further and talking about the National Board standards that are related to middle childhood generalists. And I asked it this time, can you please kind of rewrite it and think of those particular standards. So it already started with the standards emphasize the integration of all of these things, which is great because I can go back and look, knowing your students, designing, implementing effective instruction, assessing student learning. This is all true. This is what we have read about the standards. So it's great that AI picked up on that. And now look, they have keywords, self-correct, adjust when necessary, know your students well, actively engaging with text. So really interesting how it takes some of that information and applies it. Now, is this perfect? No. But the point of this is to help you come up with ways and ideas to answer these questions, to help you brainstorm. So I love this activity. I think it's really, really helpful. I think it helps candidates think and brainstorm on, okay, not only am I, step one, answering the question, step two, making sure my rubric is in alignment, or my answers are in alignment with the rubric, step three, that my answers are not only aligned with the rubric, but I'm thinking like a national board certified teacher because I'm comparing it to the standards of my particular certificate area. So great way just to kind of brainstorm and study. As a warning, as a disclaimer, we always say you are never to use AI for your written commentary, for your forms, but it is a great way to brainstorm how you're going to answer these constructed response exercises for your component one.